all right, it's going to be tough to top the excitement from the Wolf on that one, but nonetheless, there's some pretty big developments coming out of, the place where you always expect big free agent acquisitions to come from, and that, of course, is Cleveland. Cleveland known for just, making bold offseason moves and improving their team exponentially. More of the same today or yesterday as they make moves to acquire Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. Initial thoughts about that move?
I love it for Tyrod Taylor's fantasy value. I mean, you look at the Browns and what they've done over the last couple off seasons, the unsexy grunt work to lead to these big sexy moves. They really bolstered their offensive line last year. They stockpiled draft picks, saved up cap space, and then they got rid of the guy who helped do all this in Sashi Brown. Now, whether he could evaluate football talent or not remains to be seen, but he certainly set them up for the future quite well. And now they're starting to pull those fireworks, starting to light them off, and we're seeing these big moves happen. The sex appeal starting to build a little bit in Cleveland fantasy-wise, starting with, as you mentioned, Tyrod Taylor, a guy who I am, is he going to ever win a Super Bowl or even a playoff game?
No.
I'm not sure, but I like Tyrod Taylor a lot. The guy throws a great deep ball, obviously plus athleticism. He's been in the top 3 in rushing yardage all the 3 last years. He was 3rd last year, 1st the year before that, 2nd the year before that. So, I mean, the guy can run. We all knew that. And then he goes into this offensive system, Todd Haley, who really is – he's a guy that talks about being almost like a chameleon. He molds to his talents and does what they do best. So you can imagine after years of Tyrod Taylor rotting in these poor offensive schemes, he was forced into this West Coast system that did not use his running ability creatively last year. Plus, he was surrounded by, his top wideout, Zay Jones, Jordan Matthews, complete garbage, yet still managed to finish within the top 16 of the quarterbacks, was the QB8 for the year before that, and then QB8 in points per game once he finally got starts in 2015. So 2 years of QB8 production. Then he moved, and that's when he had, Sammy Watkins, Robert Woods for one of those years as well. So his talent was pretty decent, but still, he's in a poor scheme, not really used well. Now he goes to the Browns where he gets Josh Gordon, and we'll talk about in a second, Jarvis Landry. I mean, those are clearly the top 2 weapons he's ever had to work with.
You got a great pass-catching running back in Duke Johnson, too.
Great, one of the best pass-catching running backs that was 3rd in the league in receptions last year at PPR RB11. And we're going to talk about what we expect the Browns to do in the backfield a little bit later. I don't even know if it's going to be Duke Johnson or someone more elite than that, so we'll get there. But he's going to have he has the line like we talked about around him to be protected much better than in Buffalo. He has far greater weapons than when he was a QB8. I see no reason why Tyrod Taylor should be treated as anything less than a QB1 going into 2017. The guy has the weapons, the line. He's got a creative play caller who loves to move it down the field, loves to throw in the red zone, as we've seen with Big Ben and Kurt Warner over the years. They love chucking it up. He's got the receivers to work with, and Josh Gordon, one of the best, are on the perimeter. You put in Jarvis Landry dominating the middle of the field. This offense has the looks of something that could be pretty explosive. You mix in the running ability as well. I totally see Tyrod Taylor being a top 10 quarterback, and he's going to slide in maybe right below Pat Mahomes, Andrew Luck, that kind of tier. He'll be right below them in terms of QB1, probably my QB 11 and 12, I'd say.